Hi, I'm Mark, a professional Scrum Master, and this series for anyone looking to achieve Scrum Master certification at any level, learn or update their Scrum knowledge, or boost their career as a Scrum Master. We'll cover questions at 3 levels: fundamental, advanced, and expert that you could encounter in your exams or real-life scenarios. We'll delve deep, examining questions from various angles, understanding what for fundamental knowledge, how for advanced insights, and why for expert understanding. So let's jump into today's questions, and feel free to pause this video, take notes, and think through your answers.
Select which of the following are not considered pillars that support Scrum. A. Self-organization. B. Transparency. C. Respect. D. Inspection. E. Trust. F. Adaptation. G. Openness. H. Cross-functionality.
Scrum promotes transparency. Which of the following team activities are designed to focus on improving team communication through enabling transparency in Scrum? A. Daily Scrum. B. Sprint Retrospective. C. Hardening Sprint. D. Release Planning. E. Sprint Review. F. Client Sync Meeting. G. Sprint Planning.
The product has been running for 3 months and has reached its 6th sprint. During the monthly client meeting, the product owner was informed that the clients are not satisfied with the product being built. Despite the product owner being certain that the team followed the project plan diligently, the clients are now requesting new changes, which would require additional budget and time. What actions from the Scrum Master, product owner, and client could have led to this situation?
Notes taken? Let's dive in. So, according to the Scrum Guide 2020, the pillars of Scrum are transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Let's start with adaptation, beginning at the end. So, world isn't perfect, right? Everything changes. Like situations evolve, art evolves, people evolve, standards evolve, nearly everything changes over time. Well, maybe grandma's secret recipe never changes, but that's not today's topic. So adaptation in this context is about responding to change. So in Scrum, it means adjusting processes as you learn more about your product. Change becomes necessary, and that's when adaptation kicks in. But can you adapt without inspection? And how would you even know that change is needed? What tools are needed for this kind of investigation? So inspection is the process of examining and evaluating the need for changes. Now let me ask you a question. What in Scrum facilitates inspection? Yeah, Scrum Events. In these events, participants act as investigators, like Sherlock Holmes. Of course, not solving crimes, but inspecting progress toward the shared goal. Now, how often should this inspection occur? Hourly, daily, weekly, monthly? Okay, the correct answer here is frequently. But let's be clear, frequently doesn't mean every second, every minute. It shouldn't hinder work. It shouldn't become ridiculous, okay? Now here is the final question for this section. Can we inspect in the dark? You can't see me, and that's not cool. It's not fun. Work must be visible to everyone connected to it. That's transparency. Without transparency, there is no inspection. Without inspection, there is no adaptation. And when I say work should be visible, I mean it. Transparency doesn't require everyone working on the same project to be in the same room at the same time. How they perform the work is their challenge, but what they are doing must be clear. So if you don't see transparency, it's not cool and definitely not fun. So how do these pillars work in Scrum? As the Scrum Guide states, Scrum Events and the Sprint enable transparency and provide opportunities for inspection and adaptation. We'll cover Scrum Events in separate episodes, but for now let's quickly explore how the pillars of Scrum function within these events. Sprint planning. So we ensure that the product backlog and product goal are transparent. And we inspect the existing product backlog items, and based on our understanding of the changes, we create the sprint backlog and sprint goal. Daily Scrum. Developers foster transparency among themselves by sharing their daily progress. Using this information, they inspect their progress towards the sprint goal, addressing any impediments that may hinder their progress. Collaboratively, with the assistance of the Scrum Master if necessary, they adapt their daily plan. Sprint review. The Scrum team promotes transparency by showcasing their work and the current increment to stakeholders. They then inspect not only the increment but also any external changes that may impact future product development. And based on this information and stakeholder feedback, adaptations are made, potentially adjusting the product backlog or even product goal. Sprint Retrospective. The Scrum team reflects on their work during the sprint, transparently sharing the events that occurred. They inspect their current practices, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and based on this reflection, they adapt their teamwork to enhance quality and dynamics, possibly creating an action plan. And finally, the sprint itself encompasses all these activities. Of course, these 4 events are not exhaustive. There may be other meetings, tools, processes, and techniques used to continually inspect and adapt work, but all of this would be impossible without transparency. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure calling these elements pillars. It's not that I disagree with Scrum, but let's consider the typical image used to illustrate pillars. So I used to think that if we were to remove the middle pillar, the other 2 would support the weight of the roof, even though with more stress. Of course, this is getting a bit nerdy and it depends on physics, but the idea I want to stress is that these 3 pillars are interdependent. So Each one enables the other, and together they support Scrum. It's more like stairways. First comes transparency, then inspection, and finally adaptation, and all supporting Scrum. I know 3 pillars of Scrum sounds much better than 3 stairways of Scrum, but I want to emphasize these to explain why they matter. But let's get back from metaphors to practice. As you saw at the beginning of the episode, I shared a Slack chat that happened with a friend who acted as a Scrum developer I used to work with. And I shared this chat with our product owner, Paul, who will give his review on this situation. Let's listen him. Hi, thanks for inviting me to this episode. Honestly, I see a couple of problems here that might have led to this situation. Firstly, I think product owner isn't clear about their accountability, so I think there is definitely need for the Scrum Master to help with that. I also noticed lack of transparency, as the product owner mentioned about client meeting where Scrum developer wasn't invited. Moreover, the client meeting happens monthly, which may not align with the sprint plan, and increments may not be reviewed frequently enough. Therefore, I see an urgent need to focus on stakeholder engagement, using sprint reviews for engagement, inspection, and evaluation. Additionally, I perceive a lack of transparency in a sprint goal, presumably in a product goal as well, because changes are requested by the product owner. This suggests that Scrum Master hasn't ensured transparency among the product owner, Scrum developers, and stakeholders. Furthermore, it appears that Scrum events are not focused on ensuring transparency, inspection, and adaptation. I assume sprint reviews do not regularly occur with both Scrum team and stakeholders. Instead of assisting the developer by inviting stakeholders to the daily Scrum, I observed the product owner discouraging their participation. Finally, sprint goal is being ignored, indicating that sprint planning was not aligned with Scrum ideas. To summarize, I strongly recommend Scrum Master prioritize enabling transparency. I completely agree with Paul's review, and I also would like to emphasize that in this situation the biggest issue lies with the Scrum Master. The conversation between the product owner and Scrum developer occurred because the Scrum Master failed to ensure transparency for the Scrum team and stakeholders. And this underscores why the Scrum Pillars are so crucial in Scrum. Okay, time for answers. So from what we know about 3 Scrum Pillars: transparency, inspection, adaptation. Everything else is not. And don't confuse openness with transparency. This is a mistake I've seen often. Openness is one of the Scrum values, which we will discuss in the next episode. Therefore, the correct answers are A, C, E, G, and H. Here we go. From the know-how section, we have learned about how the Scrum Pillars operate with Scrum, forming a crucial part of all Scrum events. In this question, the correct answers are A, B, E, and G, which correspond to the Scrum events mentioned. The other options are not discussed in a Scrum guide and cannot be considered activities designed to improve Scrum team communication. From the Know Why section, we explored why situations like this disregard the Scrum Pillars. In this case, we observed that the product development spans 3 months and consists of 6 sprints, presumably 2 weeks each. However, meetings with clients occur only monthly. This discrepancy poses a problem, potentially resulting in a sprint review event either not taking place at all or occurring in a less effective manner. As highlighted in the Know Why section, the primary reason behind this situation is likely due to the Scrum Master not ensuring sufficient transparency. And this prevents the Scrum team and stakeholder from utilizing Scrum events for timely inspection and adaptation. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, let me know in the comments. Feel free to suggest other Scrum topics that you are interested in for future videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to stay updated with our latest videos. Share this with your friends and see you soon. Bye.